Hey guys, welcome back to Kuma Style Reviews. Another day and another highly anticipated release. Today it's Flame Toys', the latest in their Kuro, Kuri line. This is the second O2 Tarn. So he is Transformers IDW Tarn from the comics. So no homage, no misnames or anything like that, even though this is third party, being non-Hasbro Takara. Flame Toys is licensed, so they have full reign with the properties to do what they want besides transform. So we're gonna, after I'm done with this section, go ahead and get a look at all of the accessories in picture form, but let me point out what you should be receiving in the box, because depending on when you get it and where you get it, you might get things that are different. So first we're gonna go with the base accessories that come with just a standard retail release, and then I'll go over the exclusive parts that come with ordering from D4 Toys, having pre-ordered them. I don't know if they're still doing them now that it's released. So, base release. It comes with 2 gauntlets for each of the arms, and since they're kind of an aesthetic thing, we'll go ahead and clip those pieces in. Alright, let me make sure that I'm doing this right. They just have tabs at the bottom, and it's cool because they press in under the forearms there, so you don't lose anything aesthetically if you don't have them in. So they just press in and lock. Alright, press this one in. Stand above the camera a little bit. Okay. He comes with, of course, the 2 blasters. They have a variety of functions. They can go in between arms. They can combine to form a big, huge blaster and things like that. So pretty cool stuff. We'll go ahead and get those attached though. And then in a different section, we'll actually look at the different functionalities of them and stuff like that. And these peg pieces do flip down. So if you don't have them on, or you have them on different arms, you don't, like that kind of thing, you can flip them down so that they're flat and don't just have pegs hanging out of the gauntlets here. Alright, so get that pegged in as well. Alright, and it gives you a nice snap and stuff like that too, even though they do pull off easily. Alright, so he comes with his backpack as well. Has the 2 blasters on it. They actually have some different functions. They can become like batons. So this just pegs on. Pretty cool stuff. Alright. And then, of course, his mask. Decepticon symbol. And that's another benefit to being licensed and things like that. No having to screw around. You can just make everything perfect. So there's his face, as seen in the comics. And by default, it comes with his Decepticon mask, which does have the scratches on it and things like that. So no magnets or anything like that. It is held on by friction, and it fits perfectly. It's not hard to get on or anything. Let me actually focus the camera so you can see it. That would help. So that's that. He does come with a stand as well. Now, bonus accessories. He comes with another Decepticon mask, same shape and everything, but it does not have the scratches on it, clean mask, as well as his speakers. And I don't remember, it played something like the Decepticon, some kind of anthem or something like that in the comics, but to think about this guy just beating the heck out of you while playing music blaring out of his backside, it's something else. So he is a very patriotic Decepticon. But alright, let's take a look at the accessories in toy form in case anything was hard to see here, didn't focus correctly, etc, etc, and then we'll get to reviewing this piece. Now we can get to reviewing this guy. I'm not going to measure him to the tip of his stacks there, well I might, but first we need to get a base measurement for him. I'm seeing approximately 8.5 inches tall. I'll review the tape later and check out the written review for an exact height on him, but I'm getting 10.25 here to his blasters on his backpack. Just for display purposes and things like that, should fit fine on a D12 in a D12. Really, really, really good detailing. It's just immaculate, to be honest. And it does have die casts throughout it, both on the inside and the outside. So it's really cool, feeling that nice cool feel in the legs and feet and things like that. It's nice. Now taking a look at the posability, just like Drift, this is an area where it really shines and it shows what that high price point is about. Alright, so he does have two joints at the neck, where the neck meets that clavicle area there, and of course where the head meets the neck. So you get lots of articulation, 2 points for upward and downward. Can he go all the way around? He can 360, but I'm not going to press it just because of the masks. Now, one thing I will say, when posing the head, watch out for these corners. They are sharp, they are pointy. They don't necessarily seem frail, but they're kind of thin, so don't grab it by those things. Use the front and back of the mask like that, but try to stay away from the sides unless you're doing his quote-unquote ears here, or hearing pieces. All right, now taking a look at the shoulders. All right, so these pieces here, they do go up and down. Reminds me of good old Dan Kuga, also by their sister company Sentinel. But getting that out of the way, all right, you've got this piece that moves out. The inner shoulder goes in plenty. This whole shoulder piece here can rotate up and down, so you have a lot of movement there. And of course, all the way around there. So it's like having a ball joint, but not having a ball joint, because it's got all the functionality of it and nothing gets in the way. It's really cool. No excuse to not pose this to the fullest of your abilities. Now, one thing that's cool about the shoulders as well, if you look from the backside here, I'll actually zoom in so you can see it. There's an added piece in here. You see how it can go in and out? Which is really cool. Kind of crosses arms over and things like that, and that's where this chest piece going up and down really has some play. All right, so 360 bicep swivel. Let's look at the elbow joints. Just one huge joint. It's not necessarily double jointed, but you see that there? And it's a nice smooth glide. Now, I read some feedback on some Asian reviews that said it looked like, you know, it was really hard to do the elbow, but it's not. It's firm, but it's definitely not like stiff or seized or anything like that. Not at all. All right? So I'm going to zoom into the hand because the hand is really cool. To me, this is what articulated hands-on transformers should have been doing for the longest, so it's good to finally see. All right, one thing that the instructions warn about even, and the instructions are in English, which is cool because it's an Asian release, and for Sentinel stuff, it doesn't always do that, and it gets kind of confusing. So, I'll actually bring the fingers out for this. You can see they have these ball joints here at the first knuckle, right? So it warns right there that the fingers do pop out, and that you can just pop them back in. And that's it. I'm of two minds with it. It'd be nice to see them not necessarily pop out as easily as they do sometimes. It's not because they're loose, not at all. But these are so tight, the other points of articulation on the fingers, that when you're moving those around, it does kind of move and pop them out. So I don't know if they'll loosen up over time or what, but it's not really as free as, say, the elbow is or something like that when it comes to posing. So, you know, it's just not something that's happening quick, at least on my copy right now. And this is a retail production paid for copy, so it's not any different than what you guys are getting or shouldn't be. So, okay, it actually has, because they're on ball joints, you see it has finger spread. You can put them together if you want. Each finger has those additional 2 points of articulation, so he doesn't make a full fist. Because the finger at the, well, he makes a fist, but in a different way. So the finger doesn't go all the way down at that ball joint. And if you try to do it too far, it's going to pop out. So what you do, you use these other points of articulation. Yep. To bring them in. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And to me, it's easiest if you actually use that last joint to pose it, and the other ones just follow. And same with the thumb. Exact same articulation on the thumb. 3 points. That doesn't look too right to me. So boom. And I like that. You know, you get a lot of Transformer toys and things like that, and I can't blame them because the engineering's going to other places like transformations and things to where it's just all the fingers on one and they kind of just go in and out. It's lame and it's old, so I'd like to see farther. All right, so it actually has waist swivel at the actual waist. That's amazing. And this is one thing that's cool. It can actually rock from side to side. And not only does it have ab crunch, look at the chest area here. And I'm going to cheat. I'm actually, because it helps show you the engineering, I flip that switch so that its lights are on in the eyes and in the chest. But take a look. As you build or bring the ab in, the whole chest caves down and crunches. Tell me that's not freaking cool. So you can go front. It actually has a lot of backwards too, which you don't often see. So lots of articulation there, right? And then you've got the legs, which can actually go all the way out here. Let's see if it can balance this chunky boy. This is the first time I've tried to do it. I haven't even done the gallery yet. I'm normally done with the gallery before I even film the review, but I just want to get this done. All right, so that's that. Bring that back. It does have thigh swivel. Doesn't do a full 360 because of how the thigh shell is shaped, but really good. All right, so not only does it have that double knee joint, but check this piece out right here. Let me zoom in. Oh, there we go. You know, it's just me remembering how to work the camera I've been using for years. All right, so again, check the knee, that pivot point right there. Boom. It's just neat stuff, all right? And from there, looking at the ankle tilt, not a ton. I wish it had a bit more in this area, not gonna lie. Lots of forward and back. Well, lots of forward, not so much back. And it does have that support, that rocker on the front of the foot there. So overall, really just good articulation. Let's go for an Iron Man pose. Why not? I'll actually take those guns off. And see, I told you they come off pretty easy. Utilize that ab crunch. Set. And we can actually look at the lights on the calves too. Boom. Right there. And of course it's on both sides. But I will say, they're normally not this accessible, the light up gimmicks and things like that. So it's good to see them improve in that area too. Because sometimes, like on this re-edit, the Iron Man lines, it's an SOB. Don't tell me that's not cool. And also on the backpack, these can tilt out too. Bring it up a little bit. And voila, Tarn is freaking ready. Turn off the lights there so you can actually see what the lights look like. Boom. Just mean. That is just mean. I'll close it out there. Alright, and I've got to make a little bit of an addendum there. So, it actually has way more ankle tilt than I thought. It's just really tight. So, you see how it was posed there? The ankles actually have further rock and can go that far inside. So, even there, if you wanted the feet to touch, hell, that foot too. Boom. Obviously, it's not the best look in the world, but it works. All right, and there is some play in the front and back hip skirts, as well as these pieces tilting up, you know, just to make room for the hips, as well as the back bend there as well. All right, get him into a cool heroic stance, even though he's not a hero. there we go. Alright, now that we've got the basic functionality of this piece looked at, we can actually have some fun and just start looking at the weapons and just being a little bit goofy here. So the first thing we're going to start off with is his double blasters, alright? So we've already looked at him on his right arm, that's pretty traditional. These ones also have the ability to combine. You see I just took that back cover off there to one of the cannons. You just take the other one, and I believe it just, yep, pegs in like so. And you've got two handles here. Alright. Or you can use that handle as well. Right there. Alright. And here he is, holding it like a traditional double-barreled blaster. Really cool stuff, and I honestly think that this looks good. This particular pose from all angles. Sucks I can't photograph it, but yeah, I have to remember this. And here he is. He just has one of the handles under his arm, or one of the handles in his hand, and then the whole thing under his arm. Just a lot of variety there. And here he is, just using both as separate blasters. Which is cool in itself. And here's just a walking pose, using both of them on his arms. And these pieces for the gauntlet covers, they just plug in, plug out. And you can see the balance right there. I love that it lights up in the back of the calves too. Alright, that's about it for the blasters. Now we're going to take a look at his backpack with the blasters. As I showed before, they can angle in and out. And this whole thing can just, if I can keep it pegged. Let me bring it back to peg it in. And boom, there we go. Really simple. Alright, they go over like so. Now I'll actually back him up to center him. Make sure we're focused. And sorry if this review seems lengthy, but I really want to get everything covered. I'm trying to keep it moving, no pauses or anything like that. So with these two blasters on the back here, these actually come out. And they can extend at 2 points right there, as well as right there, just a little bit. And like I was saying earlier, they become batons. Alright? So they don't have the pegs like the guns to go into the hands that way. They're just held. And here he is holding those two pieces. It's not a traditional hold or anything like that. You just have to kind of grip them. And he does hold them well enough. They're not going to fall out of his hands or anything like that, but they're just not super tight as if they did have that peg in, you know, that additional piece there. Actually have that on the outside as well. Yeah, I mean, they look decent. It's a nice additional weapon. I mean, just so he has something for hand-to-hand combat. It's cool. And since we've got those off, we'll actually start looking at the additional accessories now. So, like I said, he comes with his two speakers. And they just pop into the back right here. It's one. Oh. It's two. Alright, there we go. Zoom in for you guys here. Get focused. And there are those. It doesn't look exactly like the comic. The comics, they're shorter, they're more to the side. of the backpack and whatnot. But they're cool. I actually like these better. So it's a good interpretation of the speakers. They look like actual new age audio speakers. So we'll also take a look at the new mask, or the bonus mask. All of it's new that comes with. All right, take a look at his face. His face is extremely detailed too. I love that it has the scarring and whatnot. Just really accurate. It's cool to see. This is where licensed stuff wins. Alright, and just pop on his traditional mask. I love how easily these pop on as well. And I don't know, I'm pretty torn between the clean mask and the scratch mask. I actually think I like the scratch mask better. So I don't feel like if you get this at retail, regular retail, US, that you're missing out if you don't have this clean version. It's nice to have. But the scratch mask just looks way more badass. Alright, and there's that. And the final accessory is the stand. The stand I've actually never used before, but I know it pegs into the back of that. It's like a traditional 1/100th master grade styled piece. So look at that. And I know it pegs in right here. Alright, get that adjusted to where we want. He has that ab crunch, which we can utilize there. Actually go as this. Utilize the knee bend. And this is just off the fly, so he's easy and he's fun to pose to, so let's make sure we're doing that right. Right as well. Okay. Let's see if we can zoom out a bit. And we are going to bring the camera down, so don't worry about that. So there's that. There's that. Boom. You can see it obviously holds him up well. That's the biggest part. And it looks good doing it. Actually give it a little bit more angle there. And there we go. Beautiful. And to close it out here, we've got the Kuro Kuri 01 Drift. So a phenomenal piece. In terms of which I like better, they both do as equal of a job of representing their character in that dynamic high-end fashion. Yeah, they do just as good of a job. They're both equal, so it's more whatever look you like better, because the engineering of both has a lot of the same. I do like his articulated hands better and things like that, and I like the general look of Tarn better. But Drift is still a phenomenal, very dynamic piece, and I'd say in terms of dynamics even more so than Tarn. Definitely buy them both if you can. I can't wait till the Shattered Glass version of Drift actually drops next month. But again, this has been a review for 02 Tarn. Phenomenal piece. Highly, highly, highly recommended. This line is becoming my go-to for Transformers. I don't have a problem with them being non-transforming. I just want something really good, really high-end, and just centerpieces more than just toys, which is what these are. These are definitely that adult collectible kind of feel versus adult toys. But anyway, this has been another Kuma Style review. Check out the full written review and gallery. Going to be jam-packed 30-40 pictures on kumastyle.com. As for this review, please like it, share it, and subscribe to this channel, man. Support me doing stuff that I like to do. This is fun for me, and hopefully it's fun for you guys too. But thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.